Hey friends, I hope you all are doing great. Today, I, Kunal Nagpal, would like to welcome you to this great economic session being held on the online portal of Nagpal Economic Academia. My dear friends, in this session, we are basically going to have a very broad-minded discussion on the core aspects of the overall demographic analysis for India and China. And we are going to discover that the population of India is actually going to overtake that of China by mid 2023, and that would be by the figure of nearly 2.9 billion. So, my dear friends, as this is really a great news, that is, we are going away from the trend which is being followed since ages. As all of us know, that China actually had the highest population among various nations across the globe. Now, we are actually going to discuss various pros and cons associated with this particular prediction. So let's start. Basically, the population numbers should actually not trigger anxiety or create an alarm. Rather, these figures should actually be seen as a very important symbol of progress, hence indicating a significant development for the economy in a holistic manner, and therefore very wonderfully reflecting the aspirations if the individual rights and choices are being upheld. So, as I had said, that every aspect has certain pros and cons, so we should always look on the brighter side of the coin. My dear friends, India, our motherland, is actually on its way to becoming the world's most populous country, overtaking China with almost 3 million more people in the middle of this year. The data released on Wednesday by the United Nations showed this analysis. The demographic data from the United Nations Population Fund's, that is UNFPA, State of the World Population Report 2023 estimates India's population at 1,428.6 million, or 1.4286 billion, against 1.4257 billion for China. So this is actually the prediction being made by the UNFPA for the populations for India and China, respectively. The United States is a distant third, that is, the USA is at a rank number 3 with an estimated population of 340 million, the data showed. The data reflects information available as of February 2023 as per the report. The population experts using the previous United Nations data have actually projected that India would go past China this particular month. But the latest report from the global body basically did not specify a particular date for when the change would actually take place. The United Nations population officials have basically said it was impossible to specify a certain date due to uncertainty about the data coming out of India and China, especially since India's last census was conducted in 2011 and the next one due in 2021 has been delayed due to the pandemic. So, although India and China will basically account for more than one third of the estimated global population of 8.045 billion. This is actually a very, very important and interesting fact, and we should actually consider this while analyzing this whole discussion because it is revealing a very important statistical figure for the entire global analysis, that is, for the entire global demographic analysis. I repeat, although India and China will account for more than one third of the estimated global population of 8.045 billion, the population growth in both Asian giants has been slowing at a much faster pace in China than in India. That is, we are gradually observing a massive transformation in the overall demographic trend of the global economy. Though India and China have been ranking on the topmost levels across the globe for the overall demography, however, this trend is going through the massive transformation as I've just said. And in that particular transformation, China is actually leading the race. That is, the reduction in the total population is more in China as compared to that of India. My dear friends, last year, if you consider last year figures, China's population fell for the first time in the 6 decades, a historic turn that is expected to mark the start of a long period of decline in its citizen numbers with profound implications for its economy and the world. India's annual population growth has actually averaged 1.2% since 2011, compared with 1.7% in the 10 years previously, according to the government data. I repeat, India's annual population growth has actually averaged 1.2% since 2011, compared with 1.7% in the 10 years previously, according to the latest data by the government of India. The Indian survey findings basically suggest that the population anxieties have seeped into large portions of the general public. Ms. Andrea Wagner, representative for the UNFPA India, said in a statement, "Yet, the population numbers should not trigger anxiety or create alarm. Instead, they should be seen as the symbol of progress, overall development, and aspirations if individual rights and choices are being upheld," she said. So that's what we began our discussion with. That is, with this particular statement. That is, the population figures do not matter much and they should not actually create any type of anxiety or any type of alarming situation. They should rather be seen as the symbol of progress, development, and aspirations if individual rights and choices are being upheld. And obviously, we should be concerned about the strong demographic dividend. That is, even though the population is more in India, which is the expectation made for the near future, as compared to that of China, and both are the Asian giants, we should always look to the positive side of the coin. We are quite aware that Indian policies are really very, very extraordinary. obviously because of the very broad-minded and long-term vision-oriented policy framework being designed by the charismatic leaders. So, moreover, we are also aware of the fact that all the policies are being made keeping in view the overall entrepreneurial growth, putting utmost focus on the growth of the young population, the holistic growth of the youth of the country, because they are the real assets, and encouraging them to utilize their full potential through entrepreneurship development and effectively EDPs, that is the entrepreneurial development programs, are being organized on regular intervals, correct? And hence various venture capitalist funds are also being organized to encourage this particular drive among the youth. So we should always look to the pros of the situation. So this is really great. And we are aware that United Nations has actually appreciated India's efforts to accelerate its overall pace in the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. It is apart from the climate change action or the focus on the green energy, we are making really great progress in terms of poverty reduction, increment in the employment trend, both for the rural areas and urban areas, then giving utmost importance to gender equality, women entrepreneurship. This is really great. So, my dear friends, even though the population is increasing, yes, it's the fact, but with the increasing population, we are focusing equally, rather putting more efforts towards its holistic development. Isn't it good? It's really excellent. It's really excellent. We are also putting our best efforts to boost the overall manufacturing sector. That is the secondary sector of our country. And we are leading in terms of tertiary sector, that is the provision of the services, right? This is really great. And agricultural sector, that is the primary sector, is also seeing massive development. Massive research and development programs are going on. So there is nothing to worry, as being very rightly said by Ms. Andrea Wagner, representative for the UNFPA India, that yet the population numbers should not trigger anxiety or create an alarm. Instead, they should be seen as a symbol of progress, stable progress, holistic development, and aspirations if the individual rights and choices are being upheld, she said. So, my dear friends, after this great insightful session, I hope that you must be full of divine insights. We have considered a very, very relevant statistical analysis and what are its implications and what we should actually take from this particular discussion. That is the core inferences which we can draw from this particular statistical analysis, is that we should be really proud of our extraordinary policies which are being made to boost the overall growth of the nation. So this is really great, and we should keep admiring the wonderful, innovative policy framework of our country, because it's really worthwhile. Thank you so much, and I hope you all take excellent care of yourselves until we meet next. Namaskar. Jai Hind.